Before the noise, before the lights, before the crowd rises to its feet, there is silence. And in that silence, there are dreams ingrained into the floorboards.
Last season was the worst in Missouri basketball history, but head coach Dennis Gates believed in himself, his players, and what was possible.
Last year, the Missouri Tigers won 8 games. They lost 24. They went defeated 0-18 in conference play. This year has been a remarkable turnaround. 22 wins overall, a 6th seed in this year's NCAA tournament. It's almost unbelievable, but only if you don't know Coach Dennis Gates. The story of this team and this turnaround is, as you will see, poetic.
After a tough loss in Game 1 to Memphis, the Tigers return home for their home opener. The crowd hungry and anxious.
Ain't one, man. Home opener. Let's get to it.
In this building, on this night, it was never just a game. It was a chance to believe again.
They not like us. You think the Bay gon' let you disrespect Pop?
1-1 with Mitchell on his right. Alley from Mitchell.
No foul. I don't know why you still pretending. What is the owl, bro? It's a bird. It's a pop.
Foul by Gray. Helter Skelter.
I'ma do my stuff.
Right side
Why you
for
trying
Jason.
like a change some tires? Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably A minor.
This isn't just a season. It's a war waged in inches, in heartbreak, in brotherhood. They came from different cities, different pasts. But here, they wore the same name. And they fight not for fame, but for each other.
I would say what changed the most is now people know kind of what to expect and what the limit is and how hard they have to push themselves. It's just different here. There's probably not a whole lot of teams in the country that do what we do and what the expectation is with Coach Gates.
This is the work nobody talks about. No cameras, no headlines, just the sound lungs burning and dreams being built or broken. It's early mornings when your body says no and your heart says, one more rep. Because in this game, if you don't put in the work now, you'll be sitting when it matters most. December arrived with new faces and new challenges. In games like these, you learn if your early season wins were signs, or the beginning of the end.
I'm proud of what we've done thus far, right? Very proud of that. But I know our group, our team, we put in the work to take another step. So let's take that step, okay? Month of December, let's take that step. It may not be perfect. I'm not asking for perfection. I'm asking for what?
Excellent.
Excellent. Let's be excellent, fellas. Let's go. Have fun.
Have everybody back. Communicate. Thought this game was stopped. Here we go.
With their hands to the catch.
And a foul. And
To the right baseline, 3 on the shot clock. Point up and
Robin for the second. He is on 9 for Missouri.
Jordan on a poster with a baseline right drive. Fair to the rim. Slams it.
Up the floor. A driving Mark Mitchell slam.
We gonna go. We gonna fight or we gonna go. That's all it is, man.
Sealing the defense. Josh Gray clearing a pass. No look pass inside. Fade away on the baseline from our timeout count. Backdoor. Wide open the lane. Marquez Warren. Tony Perkins, the drop off with the lane. Mark Mitchell.
Win is a win. But who I'm proud of the most is Peyton Marshall. And if you don't play like that every single day from practice to the games, you'll put yourself in a situation. But Peyton, I truly believe we don't win this game without you.
Some games aren't just games. They carry history, pride, and that unspoken pressure you feel before the tip. Kansas, Missouri.
It's the
Enough said.
271st meeting between Missouri and Kansas. The number one Jayhawks come to town with a record of 7-1, having lost for the first time this season earlier this week at Creighton.
Get the job done!
Over his Bates, here comes a three. Bang! And Missouri has a 5-2 lead.
Great assist by Gray.
The defense early by Missouri, absolutely suffocating. By Robinson, deflected by Robinson, almost stolen by Robinson, now deflected by Gray to Robinson in the front court for the two-hand jam. He is quickly becoming a great, he was locked in, they were locked in yesterday. He's got depth, he's got a better team than a year ago, and I just love the way they're playing, which close the gap. Bates and traffic. Bates with a season-high 18 points. That's how the half will come to an end. 39-25 Missouri. Missouri, not perfect, but really, really good. Using so much clock. Here's a big reason why. Bates is steal. And fly! And he's going to the line, and Missouri is red hot against number one. This place is rocking. Robinson right of the logo. Fanning to the sideline. Gets it inside Bates. Bates, left corner, hooks it to Mitchell. A three. Rattles in. Missouri leads it 68-63. Give him credit for having the confidence to knock it down when they needed it most. Missouri knocks up number one Kansas in a series that dates to 1907. An unexpected Tigers upset. Can take the lead with a three. Perkins all the way to the hoop. And South Carolina's got to bounce back.
I was always around sports. I always was told to always do the right thing. Sports will take you a longer way than the other way. I just always tried to keep my head straight and stick to sports. So.
A loving kid, funny, a jokester. He loves jokes. All around good kid. He loves sports. When he was younger, he played basketball, baseball, and football. And it was to where it was one summer, it was all three.
The one thing about it is he's the older brother, and he's always looking after his younger siblings. And when you see that type of bond, he's setting an example. So when you set that example, you get through storms, you get through anything. And that chip on the shoulder is one that just motivates him, and it motivates his entire family. So Tony comes from the Hoosier State, kid from Indiana. Obviously being under recruited took place because of COVID.
So it was just kind of, at first he was, he wasn't really getting recruited. All of a sudden everyone was calling him, trying to, get him, hey, we want to offer you a scholarship. So it was, a good thing, but it's kind of like, oh my God, what school do I pick? How do I do this? What do I do? So I just told him, go with what your heart tells you to do.
That was pretty great. I was able to win a Big Ten championship in 2022. I was able to get honorable mention and be an all-conference player twice. I wanted to change the things from my last year, so I was like, well, I guess I entered the transfer portal once I did. Mizzou stuck out the most, talking to Coach Gates and building a relationship with him. Everybody, telling their story from when we first met until, now it kind of build up and led to where we're at now.
I don't know. When Tony's out on that court, he's just like, hey, I will guard the best defender that they have. Because he's not backing down for a challenge to any best player on anybody's team.
I think I've grown a lot, just having conversations and, being a person to always have a door open if anybody needs anything. Have a talk, encouragement, anything that they need, I'm always available.
Well, for Tony Perkins, the preparation comes from playing basketball in Indiana, sellout after sellout. There's not a moment that I've seen him nervous.
Tony is an individual that will never give up.
Get better every day. I kept working and kept working. And as I kept working,
everything will come together. And then it did, and he looked at me and he said, Mom, you were right. You have to trust the process. You just got to trust the process.
Back home, Missouri looked to reset the tone. January brings pressure, but pressure makes diamonds.
And it's Battle of the Tigers from Mizzou Arena. LSU taking on Mizzou.
I can't wait to live in glory. We at the crib. All night, man. All night long.
Robinson on the wing. Pull back three off. Bounce good. Missouri picks the 5 turnovers. For Pierce, catch and shoot 3 good. Knocks down the 3. It's 10-4. Anthony was 7 to shoot. Bounce pass down low, stuffed by Bates. Into the front court comes Bates, leaves it for Grill. Deep 3 off the cap. Things with Missouri leading by 3. The shot and a steal by Bates. Looking at the top of the key. Bounces the left baseline. Pierce on a cut to the block. To the rim. Overpowered Bailey and laid it in. The line now right center lane. It's 42 by Missouri. 21-point lead. No work against Gibbons. Outside Grill. Catch and shoot 3. Made it. The line to the cutter. Mizzou for the flush. Tigers pick up their 12th win of the season. They go to 12-0 at home.
That toughness comes from not getting any excuses and not bailing the kids out.
Going through those 6 seasons, it's been a long time.
I couldn't write a better story than how it's going now.
I got it from both my parents for sure. They're both 2 of the most competitive people I know. And then after my parents, my brothers, and watching those 2 play. So.
Very frequently they would play 2-on-2 in the backyard, and it would be one of the boys with Chris and then the other 2 boys, and they would go to ridiculous numbers like to 100. They compete in everything they do.
Doesn't come home and give them any excuses. It's all about getting better. If you don't like how you perform, you go do something about it. You don't point the finger, and I think that's kind of how we've always raised them. And I think that toughness comes from not getting any excuses and not bailing the kids out.
Learning my freshman year, I think that was just a big learning curve to figure out college basketball. And then my sophomore year, that was the COVID year, and that was just real difficult for everybody. And then getting back on track after that, when I came back to Iowa State, I would just say going through those 6 seasons, it's been a long time.
Caleb Grill has been a bridge builder for us. And when I say bridge builder, he's been able to translate what my expectations are for newcomers. And he's been a wonderful, wonderful young man. And I truly believe he'll be on my staff one day.
It just felt different with Gates, and it felt different with his coaching staff.
For him to be the best player he could possibly be, he needed this, and he needed Coach Gates and his staff.
Kid that is a state champion in the high jump and obviously played football. Those things are important when you look at a true competitor, and he is a true competitor.
I would say he knows us like he's like our parent, like almost. Like that's how he gets to know you. So he gets to know that other side of you that a lot of coaches may not get to know. So he knows when you're upset. He knows when you're happy. He knows what's going on throughout your life. And as a coach and a leader, you have to know that stuff. You're going to have to talk to each individual player in a different way. That's what makes him so unique to me.
Chris Perrin, John Conity, and our team of doctors, it's a true team atmosphere when you look at their ability to be on the same page, and it's very rare.
They just told me I need to have my mindset positive and keep going forward, because if I had a negative mindset, the injury's going to keep on lingering. And so I just had to fix my attitude with that.
Coach Gates, the day of Caleb's surgery, telling him, your coaching internship starts today. I couldn't write a better story than how it's going now. It is home for him, and it's home for us.
This has been truly the greatest blessing for us and for him being here at Missouri.
Caleb.
Gainesville, a place where many teams have stumbled, but Missouri came in with purpose. And sometimes, purpose is all you need.
2 teams with really strong identities here, both coming off of strong weeks.
Very excited.
Florida's like one of the best teams in the country. Talking about a top 5 team nationally at home.
Yeah.
Who just beat the number 1 team in the country at home by 30 points. So, no shocker that we're all going to pick Florida in this spot.
Hey, we feature 2 of the better teams in the SEC, including the 5th-ranked Florida Gators.
Missouri has really got a hand full tonight because school's back in session here.
Floats it in the paint, overthrew it to Robinson, chased by Martin to the rim, slams it, and Missouri takes a 7-point lead. Flips into Grill. Grill, deep 3 off the bounce. This is pulled down by Grill, top of the key, a 3. Bang! He knocked it down on top of the key for Grill. To the left wing, off bounce for 3. Bang! Number 4 goes down. He's on fire. Missouri leading by 13. The 5th will drive against Condon to the rim. Two-handed jam, and he got it.
7. Down to 5. And a 3.
Nick now drives, challenges, Tinula banks it. Barrett.
Wow. Beautiful feed.
The fresh possession with 7:14 to play. 67-60 bracket 10. Stolen by Bates and Eddie Pierce to the rim. And the flush. The block. Great corner. Pierce with a 3. Made it. 5 seconds to play. Crowd heading for the exits. Missouri leads by 4.
The win in Florida was big, a moment that showed what they're capable of.
Last but not least, thank you for the birthday.
Mark or Jamar, either one. There's a screenshot of you guys in Coach's post-game interview going around with a bunch of guys, your finger to your lips. What's the message there?
We're just not gonna do too much talking. We know what the media says about us around the country, like all these, TV channels or whatever. Like, we not really talked about, and we don't really care. We're just gonna keep showing up and doing what we do. The message has been consistent in terms of us knowing what we have in that locker room and being confident in it. So, like I said, we're not gonna talk. We're just gonna keep open and doing what we do as a team.
This is a group that has not complained ever on anything, any situation, whether it's been 5 a.m. wake-ups for conditioning, whether it's been double days for practices, whether we've done all defense practices or all offense. These guys have not blinked one time. And the amount of resilience that shows is ultimately a great sign that this team has even more room to grow. We're not even at our peak. I don't think we're playing well. I'm just being honest.
In the cold winter air, one message remains the same.
Understand this, our team has grown. You guys have heard me say this. There's still room to grow. Don't get complacent in anything. There's room for us to continue to get better, but we have to do the labor. We have to do the labor. The labor is something you cannot skip. There's no shortcut for it. Nobody can substitute for it. You have to do what you're responsible of doing, okay?
They've never cared for the highs, just the next challenge. And Arkansas was waiting.
By Bates, 3 on the way. Bang! Missouri takes a 3-2 lead. Perkins back to Pierce, 3 on the way off. That's good.
Bates thought about it. Bates for 3. Another to Bar Bates.
Grill to the rim for the flush. Keeper Grill bouncing the paint. Pierce for the flush. Goes top of the right over the 3 on the way. Made it. 22 to play that. Allen right with Cruz. Cruz will drive to the right block. Hanging. He flushed it. And Missouri heads to the locker room, leading Arkansas. Key by Mitchell. Torres 3 on the way. Made it.
Yeah, right here, look, and he's rewarded. Beautiful stuff. Timeout, Arkansas.
Will make it 20 with the flush. Hanging, adjusting, slamming with 2 hands. And bringing the crowd to its feet.
Double clutch for the Grill Master.
First time in school history, the Tigers are 4-1 in the SEC. 15-3 overall as they knock off Arkansas.
We got so much room to grow. Fella, I'm just telling you, we got a lot of room to grow. We have not hit our peak yet.
I would say my competitive spirit definitely is rooted from my household, whether it's little board games in the house on Christmas or Uno, or even who can get their seatbelt on the fastest. Little stuff like that is where my competitive spirit comes from, but more specifically my older brother Trey. You know how driveway battles with your brother get, you know, he knocked me down, I get a scratch on my elbow or something, and I'm going in the house crying, and my parents just sending me right back out there like, Trey, keep going at him.
The moment when they were at Piper together, it just brought those memories back up, seeing them back on the court. It was really surreal, especially when they won the state championship.
It was a great experience. I thought he was able to experience what it was like to not be the best player on the team. I was able to be a part of 2 teams that went to the NCAA tournament, so experienced a lot of winning, but that time at IMG prepared me for the adversity that was eventually gonna hit when I got to the college level. We played St. Mary's. We was at the hotel late, and I obviously knew I had to leave that next day, and I'm trying to go from Portland back to KC, and I didn't sleep because I played the game, obviously, and I was up with my teammates that same night, and then I left the hotel to go to Portland at like 4 a.m. It was 2 days later, and a healthy birth, everything was good, and Leilani was fine.
He transitioned so well into fatherhood. It was almost like he's done it before. It was just another challenge that he tackled without any fear.
Me being a father didn't really set in, or it wasn't like a reality until I literally saw her. When I saw her, it was just a wave of emotions. I was like, oh, and I held her. Like I really didn't know what to feel.
He was just so far away from Leilani and from us, not having the support system as close to him. In order to be certain he did, we just had to make a hard decision.
Coaching staff, when they first called me, they knew that I had a daughter. They knew that I wanted to come home.
What I saw first was his relationship with his daughter. And when you see that type of relationship of a young man who's navigating college but not running away from the responsibilities of parenthood, what has happened is a level of focus has taken place and he's gotten better. And that's where I look at the role of his parents.
I sleep very well at night because he is really surrounded by amazing, genuine, smart, intelligent, family-oriented me. And I love it.
The most rewarding part of my journey, just making Leilani proud. I mean, there's nobody who's more proud of me, win or loss after a game, than Leilani. So fortunate that I get to set a great example for her and just be somebody that she really looks up to.
Obviously, last season went how it went, but Tamar Bates didn't blink. His skills is one thing, but it takes a tough-minded person to want to stay and weather a storm, but also being able to be a change agent for an institution in one of the toughest conference ever assembled here in the SEC. And obviously allowing him to grow, but also pushing him in a direction where he's a great, great student, a great person, a great human being, and a great leader.
Mid-season, things start to settle, but not tonight. The air was thick with opportunity.
We do have a packed house, a sold-out Mizzou Arena on this Saturday afternoon for a top 25 matchup that should be a good one. Paying tribute to Norm Stewart today, the players are wearing Storm and Norman long-sleeve pullovers as we celebrate the legendary coach's 90th birthday.
Coach Stewart built teams that were tough.
Pullback three off the bounce from the right side, splashes in. It's 8-0 Ole Miss. Right wing Pierce, right corner Bates, an open three. Made it. Missouri's on the board. Bates top of the key, spins around Morrell, lays it up, and Missouri's got the lead.
What a move by Bates. What a run by the Tigers. Down 8-0 to start.
He jumps up right corner. Robinson catch and shoot three. Made it. Missouri takes it 21-8. Left side Pierce, left corner Grill. Here comes a three. Made it and got fouled by Neal.
Over by the Rebels. Little by pass on the inbound. An easy finish.
38-31 at the half. Missouri leading number 16 Ole Miss.
Right here. Let's go. Now they don't do 1, 2, 3.
Deep three off the catch. Made it. His first of the night. Imagine if Mitchell faces up. Left corner Grill. Catch and shoot three. Made it. Splashed it in.
And Missouri really bad and really aggressive all the time.
Missouri comes up with the steal. Bates lays it in.
That's the top to keep Pierce. Left point Bates open three. And Missouri opens up its first 10-point lead of the game. 83-75 the final. Missouri goes to 15-0 at home, 16-4 on the season, 5-2 in the SEC.
Cruz, transition three. Yes, sir. Jacob Cruz coming off a 19-point performance.
Left side deep three from Cruz. Goes down.
It was just an escape, really. I had some struggles. Dad was in and out of prison. My mom passed away due to bone cancer.
Not again. Not again!
I would say growing up, I don't think he's had it the easiest compared to others. Well, compared to mine, I would say.
I know the hardship, I know the trauma associated with that, but more importantly, I know how he's living his life to make sure that his family structure and his leadership as a husband, a father, is different.
A lot of people could just give up and show it and wear those type of, scars on their shoulders and stuff. I try not to, because, sometimes you just got to take a lot of the way people think about you with a grain of salt. Because if they really knew what you went through or what you go through, they'd probably look at you a lot different. I got older and realized, they made really, something out of nothing. My grandparents were the ones who take care of me. They were on a fixed income, me and my brother. Only less than a year younger than me, so we're pretty much neck and neck. And I'm growing out of everything, he's growing out of everything. Trying to keep shoes, trying to keep clothes for 2 kids, feeding them, making sure they're going to their basketball stuff, having their basketball stuff. And it never really felt like that until you look at it from this day and age for me now, because they always made it the best it could be. There's a lot of things that I wasn't able to have too, but I always had a basketball. So if I was ever upset, aggravated, things were going my way, or things were just rough, I always went out to the court. And, I could spend 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day out there, no problem. I would just do that every time.
Second chance now for the Ospreys. They will swing it for Cruz, and he has really heated up.
I met Jacob at UNF at a party, and it was all his teammates and then some other people.
She just caught my eye right away. She came in and felt like she took up the whole room, and I was just like, whoa.
He was really tall, considering I'm only 5 foot, but he was really nice. We just got to talking. It took me about a year before I even wanted to be with her, fully, due to my trust issues, but she was very resilient. She knew who she wanted, and she never swayed from it. I don't think I would have thought of anyone else. So before the season even started, before I even got to go to jamborees and get recruited or anything, I was already committed. So, that's how UT Martin came into place, because I knew I was going to play. I knew I was going to play. I knew I was going to be able to do whatever I did in JUCO, and I already didn't even play a game in JUCO yet. I just knew the way they had plans for me. I trust them. And I was like, I'm going to Tennessee. I was like, I want you to come with me. I was like, we have to get married. I was surprised a little. And I was kind of nervous. I was like, oh man, this is where it ends. It was always in my head. She was like, okay, easiest decision of my life. I was like, what? She was like, yeah, I knew this was gonna happen. I was like, okay.
Jacob Cruz, what a start for the Skyhawks.
I had a big game against NC State
that kind of woke up a lot of people. And I guess that's when it came into place where he was like, you might have just changed your life forever. And he was the type to tell you, like, I'm not gonna hold a kid back. You know, he's like, you can go help yourself and your family and better yourself. I'm on board with you. Mizzou was the first school to hit me up when I got into the portal.
We made the visit about Carmen. We didn't make it about Jacob Cruz, and at that point he was able to realize what a family atmosphere they were getting into.
I would say during the recruiting process, after hearing all the conversations, their main thing here was about family, so that really struck with me.
And when he decided to put my kid first, that wasn't even born, and then my wife, you could tell he was involved, wanted to be involved, wanted to be a part of that, because he's a big family guy.
Well, Carmen pushes Jacob, and she makes him better, and I see it firsthand through frustrations, through ups and downs, and even through successes. She keeps him, to a place where he's humble. She keeps him well-grounded, and obviously pushes him to become a better basketball player, because that's what his dreams and aspirations are. And I think Jacob Cruz has not only allowed me to coach him, he's allowed Coach Carmen to coach him, his wife.
That's my rock. That's my OG coach. That's the real coach, as Gates would say.
Darkville in February. Cold outside, hostile inside. These are the places that test a team's backbone when the season starts to show its wear.
I'm curious to see where Mizzou goes after this, because they're in the toughest conference for sure. They're going to have their chances coming up.
It is an all-out war tonight for 40 minutes. It is an all-out war.
Inside left side of the team, Mitchell with 3. 6-0 Missouri. Slowly, Mississippi State has been able to worm down on that offensive block. Grill will drive. Open Cruz, 3 on the way. Made it. Grill, top D, wide. Bang it down. Caleb Grill from deep.
Slide. Mizzou has it. Mitchell, couple of ball fakes, got it. And the back.
Elbow gets into the paint, space line. Pierce lays it up and in.
Grill, he's going to have to hoist from 40 feet. By Missouri on the road. The Tigers hit 9 threes, Pat. 52% from the floor. 15-point lead for Missouri. Largest of the day in the right direction.
Upward. But outside Grill, catch and shoot deep 3. Bang! And Missouri goes up. 2:37. Crowd heading for the exits.
Cruz gets Jones flying, puts it up, and
we ain't getting on the road yet now. I know we on Grill. All right there, Brother Bates. All right.
Missouri started a stretch of 4 games against teams that were ranked in the country's top 16. They went 1-1 on the road, a 27-point win at Mississippi State. They went 1-1 at home, easily beat a good, solid Ole Miss team with whom they are tied in the SEC standings, and just lost to Texas A&M, a legitimate, in my opinion, 2 or 3 seed in the NCAA tournament, on a last-second shot by the preseason conference player.
Military Appreciation
Night. This is just basketball.
A crowd full of service and sacrifice.
This is life in the SEC.
It wasn't just about playing for a win. It was about playing for something bigger.
As the Oklahoma Sooners visit for the first time as a member of the SEC. Cut, Grill tips it to Gray to the rim, jams it, and does a little chip. Walk up 3 off the bounce, right wing, rattles in. Robinson being chased to the rim, he slams it. Left wing Allen, left catch and shoot. His right side to the block, powers it up and jams it. Just put him on a post. Tigers lead by 20 at the break.
He's taking advantage of foresight defensively, and Anthony Robinson.
Throw it to Grill, scoop it to Mitchell to the rim for the flush, and he gets fouled. Mark now matches his season high. Block turns against Moore, muscles it up, puts it up and in. Neck drives, gets into the paint alley for Shaw for the flush in this 213th meeting with Oklahoma. Missouri rolls by the Sooners here at Como before 12,000 fans on a snowy night. 82-58 the final score.
He's always been a tough-nosed kid himself. I didn't have to train him that. You know what I mean? It's just in Jeremy's blood the way he is, man.
My dad was a cement finisher growing up, so he worked a blue-collar job, woke up really early, late nights to kind of provide for my family. So now whenever I get a chance, I try to pay him back by working as hard as I possibly can, whatever it may be. He even had a really bad accident when I was a kid, a fire accident, and you know it was expected that he wasn't even supposed to live, and they told him to be on disability forever. And he told them no, like that's not enough money to provide for my children. So he went back to work, and he worked every single day, waking up to pouring cement, setting up jobs in the heat and the sun, and just to provide for my brother, my sister, and I. And my parents put me in a bunch of sports from a young age. I played football, I played basketball, I wrestled, I played baseball, and I think that kind of really developed my love for sports. Trying out all those different sports, seeing what I was good at and seeing what I liked. And ultimately, it was between football and basketball growing up. I leaned more towards basketball. I emailed hundreds of coaches, thousands of coaches maybe, saying, hey, look, take a look at me, you know, I can provide something for your team. And then finally one email came through, and Cleveland State started looking at me with the old coaching staff. I chose Cleveland State. I took a bet on myself to go there as a preferred walk-on. And then a month or so after that, that coaching staff got fired. So once that happened, I was kind of nervous about what might happen. And then that's when some guy named Coach Dennis Gates got the head coaching job at Cleveland State.
Well, Jeremy was a young freshman walk-on for us at Cleveland State University. And what I imagine and what I've seen throughout my career from walk-ons is a level of toughness. So that was the one thing that I was looking for as it relates to how does this kid impacts the court. And Jeremy is one of the toughest young men that I have ever coached in my entire career. I just recall benching our starting point guard and putting Jeremy Sanchez in the game to start the half. And that game was at IPFW to secure the regular season title. And Jeremy Sanchez, when I say impacted that game, he impacted the game in more ways than one. I had the confidence to put him in because of how he approached every single day.
I ended up starting 10 games that year as a freshman. And, you know, I think our bond just really developed from there because I just saw a guy who trusted in me and believed in me enough to start a freshman and a preferred walk-on freshman. And he took this job, and I decided to take another scholarship offer at another school, St. Leo University in Florida. We didn't have the greatest success, and then, yeah, that's when Coach Gates called me this past summer to come back to the team and reunite with the staff and him, and it was a no-brainer. I may have been in the sun in Tampa, and with people that I really liked and enjoyed, and some guys that I'll call my friends forever, but from a basketball standpoint, Coach Gates really shows you what it means to be cared for, and this is not a transactional relationship. It's a really meaningful relationship, and he builds things based on trust. My family, from every person I've ever met, has just been a hard worker, and not many people have taken the route that I've taken, and I'm extremely grateful to have this opportunity that I have, and it's all because of them, and I'm extremely grateful for it, and I'll forever be trying to pay them back for the sacrifices that they made for me.
It's just, he deserves it where he is at.
But, you know, now that I really look back and I see the whole scenario and how it all played out, like, he's the toughest guy I've ever met in my entire life. You know, bouncing back from that and being able to show up at work every single day and be able to, you know, still provide for us and never complain once. He showed up every single day, never complained, worked as hard as he possibly could. If I'm half as good a man as he is, then I've achieved something great in life.
Some games circle themselves on the calendar, and this was one of them. Alabama came in ranked top 5. Mizzou, undefeated at home, riding with momentum.
It is a top 15 matchup as number 15 Missouri welcomes the Alabama Crimson Tide to town. The Crimson Tide ranked number 4 in the country. Each drives, hangs, lays it up and in. 10-0 Missouri. Morey drives right baseline to the rim. The key, deep three on the way. Rims in. Real curls it, comes top of the key, deep three on the way. Rims in. to the left side, leaves the left wing Cruz. Here comes a three. Bang! He splashed it home. A much-needed Cruz bomb. Oh, wait. Grill to the left wing. Step back three, left wing on the way. Good! Splashed it in. It's 98-83 Missouri. 110-98. Missouri is going to knock off the 4th-ranked team of the nation. And for the first time since 1989, Missouri has knocked off 3 top 5 teams in the same season.
Late February. Legs are tired. Minds are sharp. A game like this becomes about control, of pace, of pressure, and of the moment itself.
Allow outside frustrations or inner frustrations to get in the way of the goal.
.301 break. Robinson ahead for Bates for the dunk.
It's back-to-back threes in his first 2 shots. So all of a sudden it's a heat. Oh, Cruz open. Another? Yes! Back-to-back! South Carolina's got to use a second timeout in the first 10 minutes.
201 break. Alley for Grill for the plus. Single drive, gets into the paint to the rim.
Sleight of hand, here's Bates. Monster throwdown! 63% from the floor. They got better since Shaw underneath, ball fake, there's 100. They wanted it, and they got it tonight. On the season, and then you guys let them talk about everybody else, right?
Yeah,
as opposed to the Missouri Tigers that keep winning. Good stuff tonight.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Congrats.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Now 18-1 in this building. Most home wins in college basketball.
It's just like a switch in my brain. Like, am I going to turn it on or am I going to turn it off? Just a wild horse, like some of those horses that just run in those mountains in Montana, just can't be tamed. Very strong, just very aggressive.
How did the horse come to be? Joshua didn't choose the horse chose him.
I was like 9 or 10. I used to play soccer before and then football. Then when I was done with those 2 sports, I picked up the basketball. Never looked back. Senior year, I had a 2020 game. I was basically killing the kids on the boards, and that's when people started calling me the horse. Didn't really bring it to college until last year. With media how it is now, I just decided to take a chance and bring it to light, and people have loved it so far.
His horse moniker, in a sense, has definitely paved this way. We did an exercise this summer where most everyone talked about a different animal that represents their level of competitiveness, and Josh Gray immediately chose a horse. So for Josh Gray, sharing his love for horses, but also the reasons why, shows us that, he slowly definitely allowed us in, allowed our community in, and he's just being himself.
I think it's more than just the jokes that, because it's funny, of course, but I think that Joshua has always put some sort of symbolism to that, to just be greater. And I would say, to be in a supportive environment is exactly what Joshua needed, to have a supportive team and a supportive coach.
Josh is a very selfless human being. He gives first, he cares about other people, even if it sacrifices whatever his goals are. I think from a teammate standpoint, no one gives more than Josh Gray.
I just feel like the SEC is, where the best basketball is played. It's a war zone. Kept telling my teammates that from the beginning of the year up until now. It's a war zone. Every single night it's a big game. It's just like a switch in my brain. Like, am I going to turn it on or am I going to turn it off? I'm just very determined to find a way.
The NBA South.
Call the NBA South of the SEC.
Our league lived up to the name.
Best conference in college basketball.
Best conference in college basketball history.
13, maybe 14 bids.
But it's not about them. It's about us. Standing tall with the best of the best.
Mizzou knocks off the number 5 team in the land.
Not blinking.
It's their third top 5 win of the season.
As we march into the Predators' lair, we ambush our opponent, disrupting them one game at a time, one half at a time, one possession at a time. It's being tough, physical, and destructive. In season 3A,
3A is SEC tournament.
Starts right now.
By now, every team had felt the grind, the wear, and the struggle. But the SEC tournament wasn't about the past. It was about survival.
Which is the conference tournament that you are the most excited to see with this? Easily SEC. I mean, you got some potential like Sweet 16 matchups in like day one.
Terrific setting here inside of Bridgestone Arena as we get right corner, Bateson open 3. He splashes in and Missouri has a bite. Here's Pull-up, back to be 4. Missouri comes into the front court, bounces to Bates to the rim for the flush. Grill, the shot they want. It's perfect. And it ends the half. Caleb Grill's first. Murphy. That's a flush and a foul. Four-cut Grill open for the flush, and Missouri leads it 71-60. Let those Missouri guards get separation. You got to. Tigers win it 85-70.
One down, man. One down. One down.
Now for the record. On the way. Got it. Marquez Ward is the new king of the hill for NKU basketball from a scoring standpoint with 2,067 points in his career, is the new scoring leader in NKU men's basketball history.
The manifestation of God's word coming through. That's how I sum up his time at NKU.
I've been through a lot of ups and downs there, but a lot of ups. I couldn't have a better college career, in my opinion, for me, for myself. Just worked out. I finished as all-time scorer and a lot of different accolades, things like that. So it all worked out. Like I tell people all the time, it was a dream for me growing up, watching it with my mom on TV.
He always dreamed of playing in the NCAA tournament, participating in the NCAA tournament.
Marquez Ward is one of the most talented scorers in all of college basketball. He's made a transition from a mid-major level to a high major level. He's a kid that is very soft-spoken, laid back.
And I had always admired Coach Gates' demeanor, my observation of him as he was coaching his players. I believe that Quest had a genuine connection to Coach Gates. As a parent, I am beyond proud. He has always done things the right way. In life, on the court, off the court, in the community. And I'm most proud about the work that he does in the community, in Belize, in Uganda, here in the United States. Every time he comes home to Lexington, he doesn't sit around or go here, go there. He comes to the food pantry and continue to serve families in Lexington.
He leads by example, say no doubt about it. But one thing that I think stands out is Marquez Ward's ability to connect with his new environment, with his teammates and the people that surround our program. And there's nothing but high honors and high accolades for him. And I'm very thankful that he chose us.
The most rewarding part of the journey, just the impact that I've had on my teammates, on my coaches, the ability for them to say that I came through every day as an everyday guy. I was coachable. I gave them the reason to continue coaching. So I feel like all the coaches that I've played for, they can say that accolades, I can say stats, but that's not really why I'm in it. That's it's to make an impact, not only for me, for them and the younger generation as well.
March is a month like no other. The air feels different, the stakes a little higher. It's about more than just basketball. It's about dreams. The kind you whisper to yourself as a kid on a driveway hoop. The kind that keep you up at night, replaying game winners in your mind. This tournament, it's where those dreams are tested. Tested by long bus rides and longer practices. By missed shots and early mornings. By the weight of expectation and the pressure of the moment. But through it all, they keep going. Because March Madness isn't just a tournament, it's a proving ground. A place where heart means more than height, and belief can carry you farther than anyone ever thought. This is where legends are born, where the smallest schools make the loudest noise, and where one shining moment can echo for a lifetime. To get here, it takes everything. Grit, thought, sacrifice, trust.
Hold on to your hats, that kind of deal, because you got one of the highest scoring teams in the country in Missouri taking on the best scoring defense in the nation. Really, you're just counting possessions. I don't want to seem dismissive here of the Bulldogs because I know they can take Missouri down. Because
this is one of these games where Drake is one of those teams I think a lot of coaches were going, my goodness, I hope we don't get those guys in our matchup because they are a problem to play against.
March had arrived. The madness was real. And the knowledge that one slip could end it all. Missouri stepped onto that stage, ready to write their next chapter.
Against Mark Mitchell, and here we go. Left side of the lane, caught in the paint, turnaround jumper, gets the roll. First bucket for Missouri. Three from the right wing, it's good. Tony Perkins.
Inside out. Yeah, they definitely. They're perimeter right now.
Cruz cans it from way back. He has it knocked around. That's the sixth turnover for Drake. Brill hopping to the basket, reverses his field and lays it in. Need on that. Might have been a little too far for the basket. Bates to the basket, off the glass. It's good. We're at a 2-1 results in a turnover. Here's Brill right to the basket, and it bounces around. A little home cooking. Guys, we're almost 8 minutes into the second half. They still have not made a field goal. Missouri, well, now they made. That's their first made field goal in the second half.
This is where Mitchell should run straight to the front of the rim.
And Barrett knifes his way to the basket, lays it in. It's his first bucket.
Yeah, the Tigers, you got to post up.
Bates along the baseline. Bates lays it in.
They play big if they need to. And Banks has done a phenomenal job. He's either giving up 30 pounds or 60 pounds.
Good look by Mitchell to find Pierce. Ward. Grill for three. It's good. Steal the 13th of the game. That puts a capper on it. Jackson will just dribble it out. And the Valley will run deep for at least one more game.
Today, what happened, obviously we came up short. Nothing anybody could say or no loss could demean how proud I am of this team. I always remember this team. I remember this season. And, I mean, I can't be anything but proud of what we were able to do, just given the fact that nobody believed in us but us.
You know, we accomplished a lot of things this year, and it didn't finish how we wanted to. We played in the best league that's ever been assembled in college basketball, and we were able to finish tied for sixth in that league. And when you look back on the wins that we had, you know, at Florida, you know, home versus Alabama, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, it's just like when you look back on it, like how we were able to accomplish all that and still make it to the postseason, still make it to the NCAA tournament. I think it's just a huge credit for our coaching staff of getting us ready and, you know, us players of getting each other ready every day in practice and still showing up.
First of all, I thank them for wanting to play for me and allowing me to be in their life. It's bigger than basketball, and that's sometimes what you have to understand. I'm proud of their growth. I'm proud of what they've poured into themselves, what they've poured into the strangers that come into the locker rooms that now they call brothers, what they pour into the staff. I get to see
front row a part of them that you guys will never see. And I'm thankful for that seat at that table, but also that seat in their life. Being called someone's coach is a lifelong title. They'll tell their children, their future spouses, I'll always be coach. Hey, Coach Gates. In some way, shape, or form, I'll always be coach. And it's not just with these two, it's with everybody. So what I share with them is full transparency. I share my love with them. And I'm proud to share the love I have in full transparency with these dudes. I tell them every day how I feel about them. I hug them. Sometimes they hug me back. Sometimes they be like, Coach, you hugging me too much. But that affection is what you have seen these two guys break through. When you love somebody so much, they adhere to game plans. They adhere to the connectivity that you're asking for. And it's blind. It does not show up in stat sheets. So my love in rendition is beyond this game tonight. And the time that I've spent with them speaks for that. And it will never be cut short because it hadn't just been about basketball. So for us, we did something historically that has never been done from one year to the next. I'm proud of our staff. I'm proud of our players. We've done something with our fan base. And I'm thankful for our fan base for supporting us the way that they did, because without them last year, there's no this year. So I credit, the leadership on our campus, President Moon Choi, our athletic director, Larry Veach, our board of curators for believing in these guys, because these dudes right here have a new home, and that's in Columbia, Missouri.